Hello again, and welcome from the deep into another episode of the Graveyard Shift with me, Book of Brett. It has been a little bit since I've done one of these by myself, so I'm not gonna lie, I am feeling a little rusty. You may have noticed the lighting has changed. That is because I am working with a really crappy LED panel tonight, but that's okay because this is not about my issues. This is more about the issues that I have with a movie, one Bodies from 2023. A movie with a very apt title because the whole time I was praying to God that I could just become a mindless corpse for an hour and a half.
Kill me! Kill me!
Now, before we get into bodies, which I'm probably just going to refer to as bodies moving forward because that title is just repetitive and I'm going to have to say it a few times, I'm sure. Let's look at the synopsis off of IMDb. When a group of rich 20-somethings plan a hurricane party at a remote family mansion, a party game turns deadly in this fresh and funny look at backstabbing, fake friends, and one party gone very wrong. We have several characters in here that are all friends, except the one, her name is B. I can't remember her full name, but they call her B a lot throughout the movie. She's kind of the outsider coming in, as well as a 40-something-year-old man who's dating this 20-something-year-old girl. I cannot imagine myself not only dating somebody in their early 20s, but going to a party of nothing but other 20-somethings. Nothing against Gen Z or anything. It would be really weird.
Wish you weren't so fucking awkward, bud.
Not even the beginning, like throughout the movie, it's very awkward because none of these people seem like they want to fucking be around each other.
What the fuck are you doing here, Saul?
Even the people that are seeing each other don't seem like they enjoy being around each other except Sophie and B. And so I really can't figure out why this movie exists, because if I knew people like this, I probably wouldn't be going and hanging out with them.
You don't have any friends. Nobody likes you.
I mean, it's really obvious that these people all have some severe underlying issues.
What is your major malfunction, numbnuts?
I feel like they were trying to like mix cringe humor with horror, and if that's the case, then that would explain why I did not enjoy this movie, because I don't enjoy cringe humor. It is technically a comedy horror, but I don't think I smiled or laughed once, simply because every moment that they're trying to make funny involves this group of insufferable, entitled people. I feel like this is a movie written by somebody who's writing about things that they just really have no connection to whatsoever. I mean, the dialogue alone feels like it was just picked from a Rolodex of terms that somebody found laying on Reddit.
How do you do, fellow kids? What?
And then there's the drug usage. For example, when Sophie's eating this chocolate cake with weed in it, the next scene is her sweating and dancing around like she's on ecstasy. These actors do a good job with the script that they're given, but the script that they're given just feels so out of touch.
Am I so out of touch?
I don't know. I read online some good reviews for it. People did enjoy this movie. It's very possible that I'm not the demographic for this movie.
Okay, Boomer.
And a big part of that is because it does feel like it's catered to Gen Z. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's why I personally didn't enjoy it. But even if you're trying to cater to Gen Z, the things in here that I feel like they're using to cater to Gen Z don't work in a thematic sense. And I'm not talking about the dialogue, because again, the dialogue doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like it would appeal to anybody. The soundtrack is a great example of how you're trying to obviously cater to a certain demo, but you're ruining parts of the movie by going a little bit overboard. The soundtrack is completely off at times. They recycle the same song multiple times, and that's the problem. Everything in here is songs. Even when there is atmospheric sounds, they can't help but get a little bit of a melody or even like EDM rhythm in there. We get this scene at the very end where Sophie and B are wrestling around in the pool, and it's this flashback to the scene from the beginning of the movie when they arrive and everybody's in the pool, and they were the only ones not in there, and then they got in the pool at the very end. I get what they're going for there. It's not profound like I think they were trying to make it be, but they also cut to the same music that they used in the first scene, and it doesn't fucking work. It's this weird, like almost something Enya would sing to, I feel like. And in the beginning, it makes sense. They're trying to be artsy with it, whatever. It's not an artsy movie. The cinematography is very good, actually. But in this scene, it doesn't make any sense because it's a high stress situation. It's a high stakes situation. As I said, the cinematography is very good. The lighting is very good. The acting, as I said, very good. The directing is actually very good. Just about everything about this movie is good except the script. And I've said it over and over and over again. You can shine it up as much as you want. However, if the script sucks, then the movie sucks. Now, as I said, we do have a group of probably some of the most insufferable human beings on the planet. It's got nothing to do with them all being well off, except what's her face? It starts with a.
Well, we're waiting.
It starts with Jordan. Jordan. At some point, they're like, your family's upper class. In this whole like big dialogue scene, and they're saying like it's a bad thing. Now, in retrospect, this was supposed to be funny. I get that. However, it's not funny. The whole time this scene is happening, I'm just watching it like airing out your laundry isn't funny. There's nothing funny about this scene. The ending also seems to kind of explain some of this away, which we are going to get into right after we talk about kind of what I mentioned before, which is them being just completely fragile. What I mean by fragile is these are the people I absolutely do not want in a crisis situation, first off.
Yeah, you're not too bright, are you?
And every time they suspect that somebody is the killer, that person just becomes the killer and they murder them. And it's, again, I get it. It's supposed to be funny, but it's not a funny movie. They really, really wobble along the line of horror and comedy, but they do it so ineffectively that it is more of a wobble than a toe. Because they can't really seem to figure out what they want to make here. It feels like they Jesus Christ, nobody needs a fucking motorcycle that loud. It's very obvious that they wanted to make a horror comedy. Obviously, it's categorized that way. That's what they wanted to make. But the execution feels like they didn't know which one to do more of, or how to really blend the two together. It's a slasher movie, to be sure. And had they really gone head first into just the slasher side of things and tried to sprinkle the comedy in with little moments, kind of, a la Scream, stuff like that, we would have actually had a pretty decent movie. I really feel like the action, the way everything plays out on screen is horror, and the dialogue is trying really, really funny, or is trying really, really hard to be funny. The gore is a lot of fun. The slasher aspects of this movie are a ton of fun, but it's so covered in so much other shit that just ruins this movie for me.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
And I can't, in all honesty, say this is a movie I would recommend people go watch. However, if you are curious about bodies, which I realized I have not shortened at all during this episode, even though I said I would, then you should definitely go check it out. But if you're looking for a movie just because you're looking for a movie, I would skip this one. There's plenty of other good shit out there. We didn't even talk about the character development, which there is almost none of. But that's also not what this movie is about, and I get that. The ending of this movie actually has me really, really conflicted, because at the time that I was watching it, I was so ready for this movie to end. I was over it. I wasn't into it. I just wanted to find out who the killer was, and I wanted to move on to this review.
He's an angry elf.
But now I'm looking back on it, and it's actually not that bad. It might actually be the most entertaining part of this movie, because at the end, as I said, Sophie and B are wrestling around in the pool. They go underwater. Music plays that doesn't fit the scene at all, and it's all over a phone.
Who took my f***ing cell phone, man? Martin, empty your pockets.
They're fighting over this phone. They get the phone open, and Sophie realizes it's not her phone.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
And now the whole reason they're doing this is because Sophie wants to see the text between Jordan, or because B wants to see the text between Sophie and Jordan to see if she hooked up with her, cheated on her, whatever. At this point, I honestly didn't give a shit anymore.
Bobby is free.
Unless I missed something, it doesn't seem like there's a reason for her to want to get into this phone, except for us to find out why all of this shit has been happening.
Calm down, diddly 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 diddly.
She then realizes it's David's phone. She uses his eyes to open his phone, and that's when she sees a video of David actually having killed himself, making a TikTok video, which bears the question, how the f*** has this video been up on TikTok for so long when it shows somebody killing themselves? I don't know if this is something that would have been kept on TikTok. I really, really feel like it probably wouldn't have been. What this video shows us is that everybody has been dying basically out of sheer stupidity. We finally do see Max at the end for a couple seconds, and it kind of underscores the whole everybody's been doing this to themselves thing. Max is in here for like 5 seconds, but we hear about him throughout the movie. I feel like Max didn't need to exist as much as he did. I feel like he could have been referenced, but I feel like he gets brought up a lot in this movie to be seen for all of 5 seconds. But anyway, guys, that is Bodies, Bodies, Bodies for you, or rather my review for it. If I were going to give this movie a rating, I would probably give this a 4 out of 10.
The internet is not going to be happy.
However, as I said, everything but the writing in this movie is well done, which is why I'm conflicted about it. This might be one of those ones I have to go back and watch again when I know what I'm expecting as far as the cringe factor. But as I said before, cringe humor, really, really not my thing. And I feel like this whole thing is cringe humor through dialogue. And really what it just comes off as is a bunch of really annoying, insufferable people stuck in a house where they all get themselves killed. Anyway, guys, as I said, let me know what you thought of Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Leave me your opinions down in the comments. I'd like to know what you thought. If you like this episode, if you like the content we're putting out, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. As I said, leave comments down below, and I will see you guys next time.